Let's be honest. American politics can feel like a lot. It's loud, it's fast, and a lot of the time, it's just plain confusing. But what if we could cut through all that noise? That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to break down how this whole thing actually works. So let's get into it.
I mean, you really can't escape it, right? A decision made in Washington, D.C. can literally affect the price of your coffee, the technology in your phone, and yeah, even the security of your own country. So yeah, American politics is global. There's a reason it's all over your feed. Okay, so let's get down to it. How does it all actually work? Behind all the headlines, all the shouting you see on TV, there's a system, a political machine, you could say, that powers one of the most influential nations on Earth. So let's pop the hood and see what's inside. All right, we're going to tackle this in 4 big chunks. First up, we'll check out the actual blueprint of the system itself, the rules of the game, so to speak. Then we're going to talk about the people, the power, the pressure, the personalities that really drive things. After that, we'll dive into the huge debates that define American politics, the stuff people are actually voting on. And finally, we'll zoom in on the modern political arena and try to figure out, why everything feels so loud and divided. Okay, part 1. The rules of the game. Every political system has a foundation, right? A playbook. And in America, that playbook is the Constitution. So the U.S. government is basically split into 3 main parts. Think of it like a 3-legged stool. You've got the legislative branch, that's Congress. Their job, they write the laws. Then there's the executive branch, which is led by the president. Their job is to carry out those laws, to actually do the stuff. And rounding it out, you've got the judicial branch, the court system. They're the referees. They interpret the laws and make sure they're being applied fairly. But here is the really clever part. No single branch gets to have all the power. The whole system is built on this idea of checks and balances. It's basically a setup where each branch can limit or check the power of the other 2. So, like Congress can pass a law, right? But the president can say, nope, and veto it. But wait, it's not over. Congress can then turn around and override that veto if they get enough votes. It's this constant push and pull, a power struggle, and that's exactly how it was designed to work. Okay, so that's the system on paper. But a system is just a set of rules, right? Things get really interesting when you throw people into the mix. Because in politics, personality? Oh, it matters. A lot. And right at the very top of that system, you have the president. Now, this isn't just a national leader we're talking about. This is arguably the most powerful single position on the planet. I mean, think about it. One decision can launch a war, it can reshape the global economy, it can inspire an entire generation. The pressure? Well, it's hard to even imagine. But if we're talking about personalities shaking up the system, well, no one in recent memory has done that quite like Donald Trump. He wasn't a career politician, and he sure didn't play by the established rules. His presidency, it wasn't just a change in policy, it was like a political earthquake, and we're all still feeling the aftershocks today. You see, Trump is one of those figures who inspires just incredible loyalty from his supporters, and at the same time, incredibly fierce opposition from his critics. To his supporters, he's strong, he's authentic, he's unfiltered. He's the guy who finally said what they were thinking. But to his critics, they see him as divisive, concerning, even a threat to the country's unity. So what are we talking about when we say controversy? Well, let's break it down. A lot of it centered on his rhetoric, which critics called divisive. Then there were his really controversial immigration policies that sparked huge protests. He had this constant, ongoing battle with the media, and of course, his claims about the election results, which really shook the foundations of American democracy. These weren't just policy disagreements, People saw them as battles for the very soul of the nation. Okay, so let's zoom out from the personalities for a second. What are the big issues at play here? What are the things that Americans are actually voting for when they go to the polls? Well, it almost always boils down to a handful of key debates. Things like the economy. Are there enough jobs? Is everything getting too expensive? What about healthcare? Can people actually afford to get sick? Immigration is a huge one. Who gets to come into the country and how? Then there are gun laws, this massive debate between rights and safety. And finally, what's America's role in the world? These are the fundamental questions that split the nation, and the answers can completely flip with every election. All right, for our final section, let's talk about the arena itself, the modern political battlefield. Because today's political landscape is just relentless. It's a 24/7 news cycle, a nonstop flood of social media, and this constant battle for your attention. It's a completely different game than it was even a decade ago. So, here's a weird but totally true quirk of American politics. The biggest stories often seem to explode over the weekend. Ever wonder why? Well, a lot of the time, it's because that's when the big political rallies happen. Yeah, just picture it. It's a Saturday afternoon. A major political figure is up on stage talking to thousands and thousands of cheering supporters. The cameras are on, the phones are out, everyone is watching.
And almost instantly, before the person has even finished speaking, clips are getting posted online. They're going viral. One soundbite, one controversial line, one powerful moment. It can get shared millions of times in just a few minutes. So what happens? By Monday morning, that one moment from that one rally is all anyone is talking about. It's the lead story on the news, it's all over the talk shows. It completely sets the political agenda for the entire week. It's this incredibly powerful feedback loop. The 24/7 news channels are always hungry for new content. Social media provides it instantly. And public opinion gets shaped like in real time. It's a political engine that just never ever sleeps. So, what do we make of all this? This intense, loud division? Is it a sign that the whole system is broken? Or is it actually proof that democracy is alive and kicking, that it's supposed to be loud and passionate with everyone fighting for what they believe in? Honestly, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. So, when you look at American politics today, what do you see? Strength? Controversy? A massive risk? The answer, just like America itself, is, well, it's complicated. But one thing is for sure, everybody pays attention. It's a show the entire world is watching. And now hopefully you understand a little bit more about how it all really